blasphemous! Oh, whoa, what do we got? What's going on, you little squandrels? Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered. Woo! We're live again in the Profit Advisory Group studio. It is a beautiful day here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I'm here to talk to you little squandies about something that's on my mind. Biggest scam since the Fire Fest. You know what that is, ladies and gents? The LSU football team. Woo! They're a fraud, y'all. They are a fraud. Okay, but what I want to talk about, we're going to get into the good of them real quick. We're going to get into the meat. We're going to get into that part of them, right? LSU, their offense this year has been phenomenal, okay? Second in total offense, second in scoring offense, averaging 48 points per game. You know, Joe Burrow's been like a man against children. He's been unstoppable. He's been untouchable. He's been undeniably phenomenal, right? Edwards-Helaire has been big time. Jefferson and Chase on the outside. Their offense, man, is kind of like a little bit of pornography. I'm sorry. I know that's not YouTube sensitive, but it is what it is, right? And it is different from the LSU of the past, right? Because the LSU of old was really, really dominant defense, but really just kind of vanilla, offense. That's what it kind of was. And now, you know, like I compare LSU to like a girl, right? So LSU used to be the girl that was really, really, I'm sorry for saying it, but the girl that was really unattractive. She was ugly. But she had an amazing personality, you know. You really loved spending time with her, but, you know, she just couldn't catch your eye. You're like, hey, put a little paper bag, whoa! But anyways, they used to be a team that, you know, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, great personality, right? But on offense, they had no sexiness. They were absolutely, they were unsextable. You know, you couldn't sext LSU's offense if you wanted. But now, you know, now they've got that sexy offense, right? You know, Joe Burrow's probably going to win the Heisman. He should win the Heisman, right? He's been phenomenal this year. But, you know, their defense, you know, they used to have the personality, but no sexiness. You know, now they got the sexiness, but they got no personality because their defense is trash. And a lot of people may say, what? Yeah, no, their defense is trash, okay? LSU defensively is ranked 35th in the nation in total defense. All these stats I'm going to be bringing to you are brought by cfbstats.com. You can go fact check me. I promise you I'm going to be giving you the most accurate information. Total defense, LSU is 35th. Scoring defense, LSU is 31st. Rushing defense, they're in the upper 20s. Passing defense, they're 56th, right? And so, you know, 35th in total defense. You know, that's better than 95 other teams in the country. Right? What? Wrong, baby. And here's why it's wrong. You take away the 3 games they played against Northwestern State, Utah State, and Georgia Southern, you know, a bunch of midgets running around playing football. You take away those 3 games against teams that are basically blind midgets running on a football field, right? You know, be fun to watch, but it ain't going to be close, okay? You take away those 3, and you look at all their other 9 games. If you put it together, you know, that would amount to tied for 79th in defense with Wake Forest. And look, y'all know me, Dabo Swinney Jr., right? Speaking of Dabo, man, what? He came after Feinbaum this week. For anybody that didn't see it, Feinbaum said he is the most annoying winner in all of sports. And Dabo shot back and said, I don't listen to criticism from people I wouldn't take advice from. Woo! That's why we love that boy Dabo. But anyways, the point I was trying to get at is, Wake Forest is in the same league as Clemson, and, I'm not going to deny the ACC, has not been good this year. And so you're putting Wake Forest defense compared to LSU's defense if you really took the meat of it. And, the two times LSU played, comparable offenses that, knew how to breathe, right? We played Alabama and they played Texas. And Texas is absolute horseshit this year. I mean, absolutely. I mean, when I go poop, I think of Texas, right? Texas scored 38. Alabama scored 43 points, right? And so those two, those two teams didn't have good defenses, right? And so LSU was able to outscore them, because they just had better offenses. But when you look at teams, LSU played Arkansas. Arkansas, out of 130 teams, is 124th in the nation in total offense. They gave up 38 to that team. Ole Miss is absolute garbage, right? You just saw their guy pissing last week, blew it against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. They scored 37, and they rushed for over 300 yards, right? Arkansas, 104th in the nation in total offense, scored 20 on them, Arkansas can't even beat their meat, right? But they're over here putting up 20 points on an LSU defense that's great? What? No. They're really overrated. Not as overrated as Dave Aranda. I think some LSU fans may agree with me. For a coach to be getting paid $10 million over 4 years, completely guaranteed, you expect dominance on that side of the ball. Well, his first year there, they were 10th in defense. Their second year, 12th, then 24th, and now they're at 35th. So every year, Dave Aranda, who's, the man of college football defensively, he's been getting worse and worse. And so it's not like they're lacking the star power. They got the guys, Grant Delpit, Stingley, Sheffield, Rashad Lawrence. They've got the guys, but why aren't they putting up the numbers, right? It's because they're not that good. They're not that good. They are a fraud, right? And so a lot of people say, okay, you're just taking those numbers. They play against good offenses. Okay, that means nothing. Well, it does. When you look back at the last 8 college football champions, okay, all of them had top 20 defenses, okay? 7 of the 8 had top 10 defenses, right? And all of those 8 also had top 20 offenses. So you're looking at really, really balanced teams, teams that can beat you on both sides of the ball. If one side's struggling, the other side can pick you up, right? Well, that's why I'm here to tell you that LSU is not a top 2 team. Do they deserve to be in the top 2 currently? Yeah, they do. They have a great resume. Their offense is phenomenal, okay? No one's going to deny that. But are they one of the 2 most complete teams in college football? No. We got 1A, Ohio State, 1B, Clemson. We got 3, you can't even see my hands, that's how low it is, LSU. And you may say, Coleman, that is blasphemous. No, it's not. Because here's why. Ohio State is 5th in offense, 1st in defense. Okay? Clemson is 3rd in offense, 2nd in total defense. Right? And so you're looking and you're saying, you know what, if Clemson's defense has a bad game, well, you know what, their offense is good enough to pick them up. Right? Ohio State, if their offense has a bad game, their defense is good enough to pick them up. Number 1. So you have 5-1 for Ohio State, and then you have 3-2 for Clemson. And then you're sitting here and you've got this 2 and then 35, right? 2nd best offense, 35th best defense in LSU. And it's like, if LSU's offense struggles, their defense is not going to be able to save them. If damn Ole Miss and Vanderbilt can put up 38 points against y'all, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields can turn around, they can cut off their weenies, they can literally just throw the ball up in the air, and I promise you that Justin Ross and T. Higgins and those boys down in Ohio State, they're going to go catch it. They're going to go score. It's going to be very, very easy. If you're telling me a defense that gave up 300 rushing yards to Ole Miss is going to be able to stop Etienne or Dobbins, man, get that out of here. Bullshit, man. I'm sweating just like cat because I really, really just hate the fact that everyone claims LSU to be this just unbelievable story, and they are so good. And Ed O, go Tigers. I love Coach O, but they're just not a top 2 team. And if people want to say, well, LSU's different than the past couple teams, the last team that had a below top 20 defense that won a national title was the Auburn team of 2010 with Cam Newton. And if any one of y'all LSU fans or just fans of LSU, well, that's the same exact thing. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that LSU, defense, that their team has anyone as dominant as Cam Newton, that's literally blasphemous. Okay, it's just not going to happen. And also, every year in the playoffs, when two teams have faced off since 2015. 2014 was an outlier year, but 2015, 16, 17, and 18, every game that has been played, the more balanced team based on total offense, defense, and special teams has won the game. And then that translates to the national title, where the more balanced team based on the numbers has won. LSU reminds me in a sense of the 2015 and 2018 Oklahoma Sooners. A scam. Fraudulent, absolute horse piss. Okay, Oklahoma in 2015 had Baker Mayfield. They came and took on the Clemson Tigers down there in Florida. Clemson was top 5 in both offense and defense, while Oklahoma had the top 7 offense, but 40th defense. Clemson won the game. Oklahoma last year had the number 1 offense in the nation, but they also had the 114th defense. Right? And they played an Alabama team, and they couldn't hang because when their offense struggled, their defense couldn't pick them up. Right? And when you look at Clemson and Ohio State, you put them here because their offense and their defense can win them games. Right? Right? Isaiah Simmons, Chase Young, those 2 players are so dominant on the defensive side of the ball. Each of them are going to be top 10 picks. And I understand Grant Delpit is going to be a top 10 pick, but he's not doing top 10 work. He's got top 10 talent, but he's not doing top 10 production, right? And so if LSU does not score, if they have trouble scoring, if they get stopped 2 out of 10 drives, their offense is going to be, or their defense is going to be giving up 9 out of 10 tries. They're going to be giving up touchdowns. So their defense is not good enough to carry them. And the only way, LSU's not going to go to the national championship. Obviously, that means they're not going to win it. They're not going to win their semifinal game. I would be willing to bet anybody. I had a guy in here yesterday, bet him $200 that if Clemson and LSU played, Clemson would win straight up. And you see, the reason is because Clemson and Ohio State have a sexy personality. I mean, that is just your dream girl. The girl that you can get married to. Marriage is the accomplishment when you're someone and you're sexy. But you also got a great personality. Whereas LSU's over here, they're finally sexy, but damn, they're dull, right? And so Vegas agrees with me. Vegas has right now, if Clemson played LSU, Clemson would be favored. If Clemson played Georgia, Clemson would be favored. If Ohio State played LSU or Georgia, they would also be favored. The only game that is even, it's a pick-em, is Clemson-Ohio State, which is why I'm also saying they're 1A and 1B, because they're complete, right? And I know people are going to talk about, UNC, the 1-point win, Trevor Lawrence threw some picks. All he's done since then is win 7 games by more than 30 points, right? Most of them by over 40 points. He's only playing the first half. He's throwing 78% completion percentage. I think it's 19 touchdowns. And anyone who wants to say, well, Clemson hasn't played anybody, guess what? That was the same argument last year, and we handed Nick Saban the worst loss of his entire coaching career. Okay. Ohio State, they've played a pretty good schedule. I think the Big Ten's a little bit overrated with Penn State and Michigan, but I think Wisconsin's, a pretty good team. They already dominated them once. We're going to find out this Saturday. Where I come at it, man, is LSU is just a big fraud. They are like the Fire Fest. It all looks good and sounds good, and then you're going to put your money in, and you're going to get there, and then it's going to be hell on earth. So don't waste your money betting on the towels, right? Don't do it. Please, I promise you, Do not do it, because I think they'll lose this weekend. Maybe. They give up 300 rushing yards to Ole Miss. DeAndre Swift and Zamir White. Yeah, that's going to be tough, baby. Yeah. But really, they might win this weekend. And even if they lose, I think they're going to go to the playoff. But at the end of the day, do not put your money on them, because LSU is a fraud. And you sat here and you listened to me, right? And I promise you, I'm not going to lead you astray. I promise you that they are a fraud, and you're going to come back at the end of December and you're going to watch this video again. You're going to say, damn, he was right. He was right. You know, Clemson and Georgia have not given up more than 20 points in a game this year. So, you know, Georgia's offense, that's a different story. But if Clemson were to play them, you know, Clemson's scoring 40, 50 points every game with ease, not even playing their guys in the third and fourth quarter, really. And they're giving up, you know, at most 10 points. So who's telling me that LSU is going to be able to romp on in here, because they have not played a defense as good as Clemson's or Ohio State, and that's going to be proven. LSU is a fraud. Get away from them while you can, and listen to me, you little scoundrels. Look, you little scoundrels. That's going to be it for me, you know. I do want to say gambling. Last night, 4-0, clean sweep of the evening. Tonight, by the time this video gets out, the games will already have started. But really, check Twitter daily. Twitter is right here. Check it daily for all your gambling picks. I promise you, who does not want to get rich while sitting on the couch and eating a nice check? Right? So really, guys, I really do appreciate it. You know, the Will Shipley interview, it was an unbelievable time talking to the cat. That guy's going to be something phenomenal. Dabo Sweeney called him a unicorn. I don't know why, but he called him a unicorn. But listen, over 1,200 views at this moment. And guys, I really do appreciate it. But I do have to ask, if you're watching this video, the only way that I continue to be able to make videos is if you like and subscribe. And then hopefully you comment, because I want to engage with you guys. I want to see what y'all want to hear. I almost started talking about Kaepernick. All right. But anyways, guys, it's been super fun. Fourth video. We're starting here small, ladies and gents, but I promise you, those of you that are here in the ride in the beginning will not be forgotten, because we'll sleep when we're rich. Ladies and gents, squadrons, CB.
So they say